everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. On today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make a flare skirt, a long flare skirt with two side pockets. Okay, for this tutorial we need our fabric for the skirt, tailor's chalk, our measuring tape, pair of scissors, and this tutorial we're going to be doing a lot of calculations. That's why I'm here with a calculator and my pen. The measurements we'll be needing for this skirt is this. Let me bring it closer. The waist is 25 and the length of the skirt is 45 inches. Okay, so let's do the calculation now. So let's start with the calculations. Remember, the measurement is waist is 25 inches and the length is 45 inches. And then the formula for a full circle flare is circumference is equals to 2 pi r. But for this tutorial we'll be drafting out a half circle flare. But let's do the calculation for a full circle flare so that when you want to make a full circle flare, you know how to go about it. The circumference is equals to, or is also known as, your waist measurement. Let me bring the camera closer so that you can see what I'm jotting. The circumference is your waist measurement. Then pi has a figure. Pi is 3.142. then the radius is what we'll be looking for. So for this, radius is equals to circumference over 2 pi. So for the radius, that is what we are looking for to achieve our cutting. It will be the circumference here is waist measurement. So we'll have waist measurement over 2 times our pi figure 3.142. Radius is equals to, the waist measurement we have here is 25 over 2 times 3.142. let's use our calculator. 2 times 3.142, 6.28. so this is what we need for a full circle flare. But for this tutorial I said we'll be using half circle flare. So what you just need to do is this formula will be divided by 2. So the formula for full circle flare is circumference is equals to 2 pi r divided by 2, because this is half circle flare. So we will have circumference equals to pi r. So now to get the formula for radius, we'll have radius is equals to circumference over pi. Now radius is equals to circumference initially is your waist measurement, and our waist measurement here is 25 divided by our pi figure 3.142. radius is equals to, now when you are drafting your flare you need to add your allowance, and you add your allowance when you are doing your calculation. So radius is equals to 25, which is your waist measurement, plus 1 inch divided by 3.142. radius is equals to 26 divided by 3.142. your radius is equals to, let me use our calculator now, 26 divided by 3.142. we have 8.3 approximately. Now to get the actual figure of the radius, you will subtract half inches from this. When I'm cutting it, I will show you why the half inches is subtracted. So this answer take away half from it, which is also 0.5. So 8.3 subtract 0.5. the radius is equals to 7.7 inches. So this is the radius we'll be working with. Okay, now the next stage is this. The radius is 7.7 inches, waist measurement is 25 inches, length is 45 inches. You remember how we got our radius? For the flare skirt, I want to have a band height of 2 inches. So what I need to do is subtract 2 inches from 45. So I have 45 minus 2, that is 43. So the flare will be 43 inches, while my band height will be 2 inches, and all together will be 45 inches. I will need seam allowance to join the band height to the flare and also to hem it at the lower part. So I'll be adding extra 1 inch to this 43 inches. So meaning I'll be drafting out 44 inches for the flare because of the extra 1 inch for seam allowance. 44 inches for the flare. That's what I'll be drafting out, 44 inches. So let's go over to cut out the flare. I want to cut out the flare skirt. The numbers of meters you need for this tutorial is 3.5. It's the same thing as 3.5 yards. You need 3.5 yards to achieve this. Why? Because you'll be needing pieces for the band height, and you'll be needing pieces for the belt and also for the pockets. Remember that we are sewing this flare skirt with 2 side pockets. Okay, so let's cut it out. I folded my fabric into 2. You can see this is the right side. I folded into 2 equal halves, and then I'll be folding it in a diagonal way to cut out the flare. What do I mean by that? It's already unfold like this, 2 like this into 2. So what you need to do is you take one of the sharp edge that is unfold and connect it to this point here, this open part. You take out this point here, this point, and then connect it this way like this. Okay, let me bring the camera close so that you can see what I'm trying to show you. The cloth is open like this, you connect it this way. But note, when you are bringing it like this, make sure you have some allowance on this side. Okay, make sure you have some allowance on this side. Now let's start the measurements. To do our measurements, remember I told you leave out some inches here. You just need to leave out just 1 inch. 1 inch is fine to leave out on this side. I will explain why that 1 inch is very important. Now remember that our radius is 7.7 inches. Now all you need to do is this. From here, you put your tape this way. Let me bring the camera close so that you see what I'm doing. You put your tape this way and then measure 7.7. Now this is 7 inches. All these lines are very important. Now let's count. Those lines are very important. This one is half 0.5. So you just need to count 1, 2, and then you have 7.7. Here, this is 7.7. You do it the same way. You just do it like this and measure the 7.7. Do it this way. Measure 7.7. Make sure it's going in a round way. Remember that we got this 7.7 by subtracting 0.5 inches from the main radius. Now let me explain why that is so. Let's just measure this. If we measure this like this, we have 6 inches. Remember that the way this fabric is folded, it is folded into 4. What do I mean? This is 1, this is 1 piece like this, this is 2, then 3 is this one, then 4, and here we have 6. 6 times 4 is already 24. Now, and our waist measurement is 25. Remember that when we cut out this place has to be 25. If we do not subtract the ½ inch from it and we are cutting it out from here, by the time we connect the band height to this to this point, the waist measurement will become bigger. But by the time we attach the band height to this mark that we have here, we'll discover that the waist measurement will start from here, because this is the extra half inch we're using to join to the band height. And when we measure from here, we'll be having 6.2, which when you multiply by 4, you get 25 inch. So this measurement works perfectly fine, and to give you your accurate waist measurement. Now let's go to the next stage. Remember that with this flare skirt, it's going to be having 2 side pockets. Now if it's not going to have a side pocket, you can just start measuring the length all the way down. But since it's going to have a side pocket, what you need to do is this. You will first take out half inch from here. First take out half inch from here all the way down. That is because this half inch will be used to connect the side pockets on this side, and for the 2 sides, that is 1 2 3 4, you need to connect the side pocket on 2 sides. So you take out half inch to the end and then measure the length of the skirt. Now let me take out the half inch and show you. As you can see, I've marked out the half inch I want on that side. That is because we want to have a side pocket, and I have traced out the length of the skirt. What I did was this: you start measuring the length of the skirt from the part where you cut out, you measured your radius. From here all the way down, you measure the length of the skirt, which is 44 inches. You take it down, you measure 44 inches, and you go like that till you've achieved your desired curve. Now take note, this part is not complete. That is because this fabric is Ankara. If you are making use of satin to make a flare skirt, it's by 60, so it's going to be enough. But because it's Ankara and Ankara is by 45, that is why here is not enough. So what we'll do, we're going to join a fabric here to cover up for this front part. So don't worry, I will show you how to join the fabric, but let's cut out this our measurement. Now, why I told you I was going to show you why I left this inch here. This inch is going to be for your zip allowance. By the time I cut here out and I cut this out, here will be the front bodies and here will be the back bodies. This allowance here will be for the zip allowance, and this allowance here is for the side seam, because we are attaching a pocket. If we're not going to be attaching a pocket, we'll just cut everything out. So now let's cut out. After cutting, see, our flare skirt is almost ready. Then we need to cut here out like this. But before cutting into 2, make sure you notch this part. That place, you know that okay, this is where you are attaching the pockets from. So you are notching this part. This is the allowance part, and then you cut it into 2. We've cut out the flare. We've cut out where we marked, and this is the front and this is the back. Remember that we have allowance for our zipper and allowance for our 2 pockets. Now I told you that we'll be cutting out the remaining parts of the down part. Okay, so let me show you how that will be done. So this is the down part. The front does not have enough because this fabric is by 45, because it's Ankara fabric. So let's adjust this and then cut it. For this you'll be needing your pins. Okay, this is the leftover fabric that I have. So what I want to do is this dark side, I want to join it to this dark side so that we can have a very beautiful seam here. So I'll first be joining these 2 parts together, because this side is on a fold and our fabric is not on fold. So I will join this part together so that this part will be joined together like as if it's on fold. Then after joining together, I would join these two parts together with the sewing machine, or join these two parts together and then cut here out. That way we've attached a piece to the down part of the front flare to make it be enough to get our circle flare. So I'll be doing that now and I'll show you how it's done. First, using my pins to hold here together so that it doesn't move. The remaining piece for the lower part of the front flare, we'll be cutting out the piece for the side pockets. Now the first thing you need to do is this. That's why I'm focusing the camera on the upper part, since it's the upper part we'll be having the pockets. The first thing you do is to mark 7 inches. You mark 7 inches on that initial half inches. So on that initial half inch that we kept at the beginning is 7 inches. Then you take a piece. You need to fold the piece into 2. You can use a bigger piece, but I just want this pocket to be very small. That's why I'm making use of this leftover piece from the flare skirt material. So as you mark 7 inches, you place after you fold your fabric into 2, you place it under your skirt piece. You place it in a way that your 7 inches and the material you are keeping under it is on the same line. Let me do it again. Let's say this is your piece. You fold it into 2. You fold your piece into 2 and you place the folded part inside the fabric, inside the flare fabric, but the part that is not on fold is the one that will be outside. Okay, so you place it this way. Make sure there are some inch above like this. Then from this 7 inch, just use your chalk to draw a straight line, like as if you are tracing it out. Then you take your scissors and cut it out. Now because my fabric is already shaped like this, I'll leave it like that. If it's not shaped, if yours is cut as a square form, or you just need to just shape your fabric and just shape it out a little, because your pocket is meant to be shaped and not straight. Okay, so I'll be using this piece because we're making 2 side pockets, so I'll be using this piece to cut out the second pocket. Piece for the second pocket. Now we have 2 pockets for our skirt. So the next thing to do is, this is how you sew it, like this. The next thing to do is to notch it. What you do is pocket like this. You open this one like this. You will face the right side to the right side of the pocket. Then you place it under the skirt while you are notching, so that you will know where to stop sewing. When you are sewing this 7 inch part, you will notch it so that you'll be able to sew it all the way down. So I will show you all the pieces that I've cut out now. So these are the pieces for our flare skirt. This is the front the front flare. You can see it's looking very full already. This is just the front though, looking very full. Then this is the back. The back is 2 pieces. We know that our back bodies are always 2 pieces because we'll be having a zipper. Now if we're not going to be having side pockets, we would have done everything straight. Now this is also the lining I'll be using. I decided to use a black lining for this piece. Then this is our 2 side pockets. These are 2 side pockets. And for the band, I decided to make use of a white band. I want it to be different a bit because the skirt will be worn with a white top, so I want the band to be white so that it's going to be very pretty. Okay, so we'll go to the sewing machine and I'll show you how to make the skirt bit by bit in steps. The first step is to sew our side pockets together. You'll be sewing the pockets to the front part of the skirt. Now this is the upper part of the skirt, this is the side where we notch the 7 inches, and this is the pocket we want to attach. So what you will do first is to connect, you let the right side of the skirt and the right side of the fabric to face each other, and then you sew it to this point all the way like this. So let me sew it. After sewing that part, the next thing to do is this: you let the left side face the left side like this, and then you will stitch here this way. You will just stitch this pocket, yes, on the right side. So you turn it like this and then stitch the pocket on the right side. When you stitch the right side and you turn it to the left side, by the time you turn it to the left side, this is what you have. Your pocket is almost ready, and then you will fold it this way. Fold it this way, and this part will complement for the part that has been folded in. The back side of the pocket will complement for the part that has been folded in. And when you want to sew it to your back, you just join it this way. Okay, so let's do the other part. Let me sew the other side pocket. Alright, so we've made the side pockets for this side and the other side. You can see it's looking very fine and neat. So the next step is to join the sides of the flare skirts together. So I'll be taking the side of the back piece to join it to the side of this front piece. This is the back piece. I will just place it like this and sew it from this notched part, and sew it all the way down. Okay, I'll do that and I'll show you the finished look. So our skirt is already taking shape. As you can see, I've joined the pockets to the sides, and I showed you how to do that. This is one pocket, this is the second pocket, and I joined the back by the sides together. Then the next thing is to join our band. This part that's opened is for the zipper. When I join the band, I'll add the lining and I'll join the 2 back together and add the zipper, and our skirt will be very, very beautiful. Then I'll hem the lower part of the skirt. So how did I cut out the band? I wanted a band height of 2 inches. So I cut out 5 inches. That is because when it's unfold, it's going to be 2.5. This half inch here would be for the sewing allowance. By the time I use the half inch to sew it with the skirt, I'll be having a band height of 2 inches, and you can see how beautiful it will look. So I'll go over to the sewing machine and connect the band to the skirt and show you how to connect the linings together. I have added the band to it. You can see it's getting ready. There's the pocket here. So the next thing to do is to add our lining. So I want to show you how to add the lining. For the band, you just add the band to the skirt like this. But for the lining, what you do is this. There's the lining. The first thing you need to do is to tape the down part of the lining. I've already done that. You can see I've taped it. So what you need to do is this. For the lining, you will sew on this side. You will sew it on the left side of the band while you are sewing it like this, so that when you are done sewing, you can turn it this way. By the time you turn it this way, it covers all your stitch and you're having a very neat finishing. So I'll be sewing it on this side here. I'll be sewing it from here like this. I already notched the points I want to use. I just cut a straight line because I want to pleat it inside the flare so that it can make it have volume. Okay, so I notched the points that I want to use. Like for example, now this joining, this notch will have to meet this joining. So before this notch gets to this place, I'll have to pleat all these parts on this place. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to the sewing machine now. Place it here like this, and then I start my sewing this way. Okay, like this. After sewing straight, then you can now start pleating it. You can pleat it anyhow you want to. This is just the lining. Pleat it, and then you check the back. The joining is here. This is the notch I gave for that part. You just pleat this remaining piece to enable you to reach that part, and that's how you do to the end. Okay, so you pleat it to the end of the lining. And then you cut out your thread. So let me show you why we made the sewing that way. And you can see here the sewing is very neat, and look at it on the other side. So let me show you properly. This is how it looks on the wrong side, and this is how it looks on the front. So it's really neat. This way you are able to hide all your seam inside the outfit, and it makes your clothes look very nice. So the next step we're going to do is to join it like this and sew this part. This is the back of the skirt, and we're adding the zipper at this back. So what we are doing is to sew from here. I'm going to just measure 6 inches here, 6 to 7 inches. That is the allowance I need for the zipper. Then I will sew all the way down, and I will teach you how to attach your zipper on this skirt. So let me sew downwards so that we can close the skirt. As you can see, I measured the 7 inches for the zipper, and I've sewn from this point down, and then I've hemmed the lower part of the skirt. The last thing that is left is to add our zipper, and then our flare skirt will be ready. This is the zipper I want to use. I want to make use of black. First thing you need to do is to test if your zipper is good, so that you don't end up doing the work twice. Okay, so our zipper is fine. Now this zipper is longer than what I need it for, so I'll be cutting out the upper part, but this is how we're going to fix it. All you need to do is this: you place the right side, let it face the right side of the fabric. Now I already marked this point. This point is from the zipper. That means when I'm sewing, my sewing will be on this marked point. I don't want to have too much allowance on the zipper. That's why I did like this, but you can decide to extend your zipper allowance. It depends on what you want, but this is what I want for this skirt. Okay, so just place the right side on the right side of the fabric neatly. Then you can use your pin to secure your zipper to your fabric so that it doesn't move. Okay, so you can see by the time I sew it, it will be on the marked area. So then we'll go to the sewing machine and sew it down. Back stitch, and then you run it to the end. Make sure you sew close to the teeth, but try to avoid sewing on the teeth. Sure you can see what I'm sewing. Okay, so that is for one side. Now let me show you how it looks on the right side. Can you see? Your seam is not showing. It's looking very neat. Now let's sew the other side. The other side, what you need to do is just turn your skirt to the other way, and you place the zipper like this. You place it like this, then you stitch it. Stitch the zipper on it. Okay, let me show you how it looks. See, you can see we made the sewing close to the mark that we gave, and then the zip is very neat. So because it's long, I'll just open this up and then cut it out. I'll just cut some away. Then when I cut out the ones I don't need, I'll just bend it this way and then stitch it. Bend it this way and stitch it to the other part. Time you stitch it, then this is what you have. Your zipper is very nice. So I'll stitch the other part and show you the finished look. Okay, as you can see, the zipper is neatly fixed. Now I'll be trying this on so that you can see how it looks. The skirt is already ready, so let's try this on. This is the finished look of the skirt. You can see how long and full it is. You can see the side pockets. The skirt is really beautiful, and you can see how the back is very nice and full. Very beautiful. See the front pockets, everything is looking so nice.